Hey guys, my name is Willow and right now we're on my horse farm in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm here with my horse, Silver Sky Baby, and I'm gonna be bringing you along with me to tack her up and take her for a ride. So right now she's in the barn in the cross ties, and the first step that we're gonna be doing before we can ride is we're gonna give her a little groom. So I'm gonna take you through the process. So right now she is super sleepy. I just got her out of the field. She was happily eating some grass. So I'm gonna give her a nice little brush while she wakes up a little bit. I've got just a little soft bristle brush here that I'm gonna be using, and we're just gonna take some of the dirt and extra hair off of her and get her nice and comfortable so that she can ride. So I like to start working on her mane here, and I like to use a really soft brush on her mane to start because it gets pretty tangly, and so I don't like to pull her hair if I don't have to. But I just like to kind of smooth it out with this a little bit and get it nice and in order here. I just go down the mane and smooth her out. Give her some little scratchies and stuff. I like to make sure that we're nice and connected before I get on her so that we're in sync and the ride goes really nice and peacefully. But she's super sleepy today, so I have a feeling it's gonna be an easy ride. Luckily, she's not too dirty too. Since she's so light in her color, she gets really dirty sometimes. Sometimes I'll come pull her out of the field and she is covered in mud, covered in grass stains, just pretty much anything. I let her just be loose in a wild horse pretty much. She's out in the pasture 24/7, so she can get into whatever she wants. Overall, she is really nice and clean, so I think we're about done with brushing, so we can move on to the next step here. So the next thing that I'm gonna do to get her ready to ride is I'm gonna go ahead and pick her feet out. So horses have 4 big strong hoofs here, and I'm gonna pick each one of them up, and I'm gonna use a hoof pick right here. It has like a little pointy metal part on the end, which we're gonna use to clean out any rocks or any dirt or anything that's stuck in there. And then a nice little brush to brush everything out to make sure it's nice and clean so that she's not stepping on anything that's gonna poke her while we're riding. And it has actually been really dry and her feet look really good. There's actually nothing in them. So that was really easy. So I think we're ready for our next step already. So she's been standing here really nice and patiently for me. She's all groomed and ready to start tacking up. So I wanted to go ahead and give her some cookies real quick. Whenever we're tacking up, I always like to take a little cookie break since she's being so patient and sweet. Baby, can you give me a kiss? Mwah. She loves her cookies so much. When she was really little, I taught her how to give kisses for cookies, but kind of backfired on me because now anytime I'm in the barn, she'll just come all the way up to me and start giving me kisses, just thinking that I have cookies all the time, so. That was a good one. So now she's all groomed and ready. I'm gonna go ahead and grab her saddle pads and her saddle and start tacking her up. So now we're on to one of the main parts of getting tacked up, which is putting her saddle and her saddle pad on. So I'm wearing blue, so I thought it would be cute to go ahead and do blue. So today we're gonna be doing a dressage ride, which is basically just a really classical training for horses to learn how to use their bodies correctly. And it's kind of like horse dancing, a little bit like ballet for horses pretty much. So we're gonna have a nice little training session with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her saddle and the pad on. So now I've got my saddle here, which is quite a big one. So I do jumping and dressage with her, and the jumping saddle is much smaller than the dressage saddle. With dressage, you want a saddle that's gonna give you a little bit more security and comfort, so that's what this saddle definitely does. So I'm gonna just go ahead and make sure this is in position, and then I'm gonna put this up and get it in place and just gently slide it down onto her back like this. I think I can feel it on the other side. Yeah, it got a little stuck over here. So I'll go over there and pull it over. And I always take the pad right here in the front and pull it up into this little spot in the saddle right here. This is called the channel. And pull it up there, make sure it's nice and secure. And then we're going to adjust the pad all over and make sure that everything is in the correct place. Let's slide this around. Easy. She thinks I have more treats for her. She's looking for more cookies. So then I have these 2 little things here, these little straps that I'm gonna go ahead and put in right here. This little place on the pad, which will hold them nicely and hold the saddle right in the perfect place. And then I have this thing, which is called a girth. It's pretty much a neoprene fabric with like a gel insert in it to make it really squishy and comfortable. And this is what's gonna go around her belly and hold the saddle on and keep it from turning and moving in place while I'm riding. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it on this side over here. And I'm gonna put it on the tightest hole here, because I know that this girth is a little bit big for her, so I know we want it nice and secure on there. And then it has a little strap here that I can tuck the extra flaps into. So I'll go ahead and do that and make sure that we are nice and secure. So then, once I'm at this point, I'm gonna go around to the other side and connect this over there. Okay, so now that our saddle is nice and in place, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step, which is putting on my helmet. So anytime I ride, I always wanna wear a nice helmet that's gonna keep me nice and safe, just in case anything goes wrong, because accidents can always happen with horses. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hair back into a nice little low ponytail here so that I can keep it out of my way. It's not blowing around in my face or anything. Keep it nice and secured back there. And then I'm gonna put on my helmet. There we go. Got our helmet on. It is nice and secure. Not the most glamorous thing in the world, but safety is everything when you're dealing with horses. So gotta have one of these. Now we are ready for one of the last steps, which is putting her bridle on. And that's the thing that she's gonna wear on her head so that I'm able to communicate with her while I'm riding. So first we have a little fly bonnet here, which is essentially a little hat for horses. So I'm gonna put this right on her ears. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna keep flies from going in her ears. And it has a little bit of sound protection as well. So if we're anywhere that's loud or noisy, that it's just gonna be a little bit more relaxing for her. Oh my gosh, the barn kitties are running through like crazy right now. I just saw Tulip tear past. Violet's over here too, they're so funny. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on her. So I'll just put this on before I put on the bridle so that it's in place for her. There we go. Yeah, it's summertime right now, so there are a lot of flies out, so it's really, really helpful. It's the worst when you're out riding and they get a fly on them somewhere and then they just start bucking or they freak out or get really nervous. So we like to minimize the craziness that can happen pretty much. Oh my gosh, she is still so sleepy. I don't know how much of a ride I'm really gonna get out of her today because she's literally falling asleep, but you know what, we're gonna try. So what I like to do, so this is her bridle, and this is a dressage bridle. So it has like a nice little crystal brow band here. And the bit, this is the part that goes in her mouth, is right under here. Her take the bit through her mouth and we're just gonna lift it up, and then this part goes around her ears. Got that off. And we're gonna go ahead and put the nose band over her nose like this, and then put the bit in her mouth and ask her to open her mouth. So there she goes, she's got the bit in her mouth now. Then I'm gonna come around in front of her and just put her ears, tuck her little baby hairs under the bonnet. I need to give her a haircut. Her mane is getting so long right now, it's crazy. In the summer, their hair grows so fast because they're getting all this sugar from the fresh grass, so need to give it another trim. But so now we've got our bridle on, and then there's gonna be a buckle underneath of her chin right here. We want to do that. I don't like to have it very tight though. I like to be able to easily have a few fingers go in the noseband here so she can still open her mouth and have free movement really easily. So I'll do that. And then we have a second latch that's going to come just right over here. And this is basically to prevent the bridle from sliding off the front of her head. So this one will go right here. And you want this one to be super, super loose. This is not going to choke her or do anything like that. See, that one's super loose. And then there we have it. Our beautiful bridle is on. Show everybody how pretty you are. Still asleep, still very much asleep, so wish me luck. So now she's all tacked up and ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my gloves on, because that's kind of the last and final step. And then we're gonna just do a little check and make sure that everything is set up and ready to go make sure there's no malfunctions or anything. Make sure that we're ready and everything's safe. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten the girth that one last time like I talked about. So I've got it over on the other side actually. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna just tighten this up the last little bit and tuck it in. Oh, throwing a fit. I think she just now realized that we're actually going for a ride. And there we go. Now we are ready. So the last thing I have to do is I have to release my stirrups. So these are the things that I put my feet in while I'm riding and keep my legs nice and secure. And so I have to undo those so that they're ready for my legs to go in them. And then we're ready to hop on. Okay, so now that I've gotten them on both sides, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on. But thank you so much for watching and following along with us while we get ready. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and find my exclusive content. Off we go.